You could literally achieve anything you want to on this planet. Maybe with the exception of athletics, I mean, look at you. But seriously, think about that for a second. Any career, any musical instrument, any fitness goals, literally anything you could ever dream of, you could achieve. Isn't that just the most exciting thought ever? If you watch to the end of this video, I absolutely promise you that you'll be better equipped to pursue whatever it is that you're aiming for. Theoretically, if you wanted to become a master guitar player, you could by playing whenever possible. So let's guesstimate and say that you sleep about 8 hours every night, work 8 hours every weekday, spend about 2 hours doing chores each day, and then let's say about an hour each weekday for commuting to work, etc. This would give you a possible 57 hours of time that you could spend purely playing the guitar each week. If it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, as stated by Malcolm Gladwell, it will take you roughly 3.37 years to become a complete master of the guitar. Not a good player, a master. Now obviously this is very rough, but it just completely blows my mind that you could theoretically master any skill in about 3 to 5 years if you were a perfect worker. And that's along with working a full-time job. Now obviously analyzing ourselves as perfect workers is completely unrealistic because we're all stupid and we can't even focus as long as goldfish, which isn't even a joke anymore, that's actually a thing. But you can maximize your work output through building your discipline, and you'll be shocked at how fast you can learn skills. And when you are able to learn any skill on the planet in a short amount of time, the world is your absolute oyster. But how can you actually develop discipline? Well, there are two main factors that you need to understand to develop discipline. Firstly, it's the minor disciplines that allow you to really start developing your discipline skill. This is so important, and it's the only way to start developing your discipline. You can't just suddenly make yourself do the hard stuff, you have to start small. And this is really why people can never figure out how to properly develop their discipline. It's common for people to be motivated sometimes, but discipline is a whole nother matter. This is why you'll see people consistently work out for 3 to 6 months and then stop. Finding the people that stick at it for years is much rarer. Using a metaphor from the old days when I was a fat neek, when you play World of Warcraft, you don't just make a character and go do the big final game raids with the best players in the world that have been playing for 20 years straight. You start off by killing the crappy wolves in the starting area because it's all your weak ass can handle. Maybe you've never played that game, well done, but the concept is universal. You start by cleaning your room and making your bed, not by making yourself run a 10k at 5 AM. Every time you do something you don't want to do, no matter how small, you are literally building your discipline. So go make your bed if it isn't made, man. I just wanted to mention that about 90% of you watching this video right now aren't subscribed. If you like the content, please do. Liking and subscribing are completely free buttons that would do so much for me as a small channel. I literally put all the free time I have into these videos, so I can't even put into words how much I would appreciate it. And the second factor for building discipline is that any resistance you face is an opportunity to grow. When you feel resistance to doing a task, you should be excited because it's a chance to develop your discipline. For me, the thing I always struggled with was making myself go to the gym before work. Getting up at 5 AM when my girlfriend is staying in the warm, comfy bed is probably the hardest part of my life. But every single time I do it, I get better at it. Every single time I have ever failed to do it, I have regretted it. But I've never once regretted doing it. Anytime you feel resistance and you make yourself do it, you develop your discipline and it's easier next time. Disciplining yourself also causes an identity shift, which changes your belief system. You're not going to become something if you don't truly believe that you can become that thing. Disciplining yourself over time causes you to identify yourself as somebody who is disciplined and follows certain habits. For example, if you discipline yourself into running twice a week, over time you'll eventually identify yourself as somebody who runs, and then increasing it to 4 times per week won't be very hard at all. This works in every skill you could develop. LeBron James didn't get to where he was without repeatedly shifting his identity through pure discipline. And not only LeBron, but any great person you look at will have had incredible discipline. It is a completely fundamental skill to succeed. If you want to learn how to be able to focus for longer than a goldfish, then go check out my other video explaining how boredom leads to greatness. And thank you so much for watching.